Three blocks of training again today. Kind of push, pull, and core for all of them. And the last block in particular is more kind of beach muscle-esque, just the arms and the core, so a bit of fun. First block, we're going to do our 3-point row here. You can stagger your stance if you want to. I just went with a kind of conventional. Feet under the hips, nothing fancy. You could decide you're rowing on. You could step that foot back slightly, that leg back a little bit if you want to make a bit more room. I think I kind of clipped my knee once or twice, but I'll survive. So I'm going to go for 12 repetitions each side on this one. Again, depending on what weight you have, you could do maybe a few extra repetitions. Or if it's very heavy, maybe 8 reps. But try and keep the technique solid on this one. So it's good control throughout the scapula. And we're not really arching or kind of twisting our back excessively here. So the next movement is our single arm floor press with a single leg glute bridge. So with this one, I guess kind of what I want to do here is the opposite leg. So the side I'm pressing with, the opposite leg is in the air. Trying to keep my glutes as steady as possible here. Soft landing on the floor with the elbow. 12 again each side. Same thing applies if we have a weight that's a bit light. We could just push out a few extra repetitions for the set as well. After the floor press, then we're going to go into a reverse plank. With the reverse plank, just a 30-second hold. Again, here what I want to do is I want to try and squeeze the glutes, so I'm tucking the hips under, so a bit of a neutral or posterior tilt in the hips. Basically just squeeze the glutes hard. Also want to try and pull my shoulder blades back and down as well. I'm just pointing my toes away. So 30-second hold here, and then we're going to go back into our 3-point row. 3 rounds for that block. Now we're going to move on to block number 2, which is going to start with a Z press. So with this one, I can keep a soft bend in my knees. I don't have to lock out my legs. Sometimes if I have a lock out my legs, it's very hard to keep my my lumbar spine extended or even neutral here. So I just want to sit up tall into this as I press. Again, I'm going to go for 12 repetitions on each side here in this one. Just going by weight selection or what I'm limited to or by. So 12 each side. Again, throughout the whole set here, I'm trying to sit up nice and tall. I don't want to start to slouch around. So I try and lean forward a little bit into the press as I'm extending the arm overhead. Don't want to over exaggerate anything here. The next move that we're going to go into then is the pullover with a single leg glute bridge. So again, this one, I'm not going to have my hips, really high or extended into the air. If I do that, normally what will happen is I'll overarch my back and I'll find it harder to recruit, recruit my glutes in that position. So again, I want to keep my back flat. I'm trying to tuck the hips under, and I'm slow with the pullover. I'm not trying to like go too fast in this one. I'm keeping it slow and controlled in a steady cadence or tempo, so that I am trying to engage or reinforce stability through my hips here. So I really find this. It's my right leg on the floor, and I really find this through my right glute as I'm doing this. So I'm going to go for 8. We've been doing more of these lately, and I probably feel I'm getting a little bit better at them, or I can tolerate more reps now. So 8 to 10 repetitions on each side on this one. But again, just making sure that we're keeping those hips engaged throughout the whole movement. The last core piece in this block then is going to be the running man plank. And with this one again, we've been doing a bit more of it. Kind of, I'm not going to say it's getting easier, and I'll kind of, even as I say that and get cocky, I look at this repetition this side, and I'm probably rotating a little bit too much through my upper body. But we're going to go for 20 seconds on each side on this one. That's going to be the third movement for the second block. When this is done, then we're going to go back to our Z press. So it'll be 3 rounds of this one before we move on to the third and final block. So a little bit better with the torso position here. So block number 3 coming up. It's going to be arms and core. So the first one again is just this one for me is the towel kettlebell curls. Any kind of variation here for bicep curl. Single arm, double arm, doesn't matter. We're going to go for 12 to 15 repetitions here. And when the bicep movement is done, we're going to go on to a tricep movement. And for the triceps, the old faithful is going to do bench dips here. Pretty straightforward movement. And again, with these, depending on your level, your ability, we can go and push out the repetition range a little bit. 15 to 20 reps. The next core piece then is going to be the Contra lateral sit-up. So I'm going to anchor one foot, whether it's under another dumbbell or a kettlebell or a bench or a couch or anything. We're anchoring one foot down, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a weight in the opposite arm. And from here, I'm extending that arm fully. That arm stays straight now the whole time. I'm trying to keep the weight over my shoulder the whole time. So I don't bring the weight down to the floor. It's not a floor press. Arms locked out, extended the whole time. The key on this one is I'm lowering myself back down. I'm trying to get the spine to touch the floor, kind of one vertebrae or one facet joint at a time. But I'm not just arching and falling back. I'm kind of almost rounding my back a little bit and just kind of, I guess, lowering myself in installments pretty much. But the whole time I want to keep that arm with the weight extended, and I'm pushing up over my shoulder away from me the whole time. So we're going to go for 10 each side on this one, and then we're going to have one more core piece, some trunk rotation work coming up. And the final core piece coming up is trunk rotation. We're going to do Russian twist here. This one again, we're just making sure it's not just the arms that are going side to side here. We're actually trying to do a trunk rotation. We're turning our torso. I don't know why I don't like crossing my ankles here. I suppose you can, it's no major deal. But I'm trying to kind of really, I feel like my core has to work harder if I don't cross the ankles. Just a little anecdotal bit there, really. Zero science behind that. So that's going to be the fourth movement of this block, the last core piece. We're going to go back to the curls for 3 rounds in total.